I hate this app. This app is so fucking trash. What's up, Lee? Well, you know, TikTok's gone, so gotta get my lives in where I can before they decide this one's gotta go too. Yeah, no worries, Levi. You're good. Super busy in there today, huh? What's up, Gordon? How you been, buddy? I've been good. Fortunately for you guys on YouTube, I've been on TikTok a lot, but they just got rid of that last night, so I'm back. TikToks usually get like the lives, anyways. They get a ton of views compared to the old YouTube, but I mean, nonetheless, who cares about that? Let's see here. The thing I just don't like is the fact you can't play music or anything. It's just a pain. What's up, Demarius? How's it going, buddy? Not really busy. It's still new in the position. I've been training myself. Yeah, Lee, take your time, buddy. Take your time. Tank looking good this morning. Appreciate it, Demarius. Appreciate. Gordon, the last tank kind of got put on the back burner for the moment. Had some family health issues going on, so I am in the process of still building it up, but lumber will be here tomorrow to start for the stand. I already got a few pieces cut. I just had to order some more wood, and then I'll start the stand back together. I did get a light for it. I have some a wave maker, and then I got to do the plumbing and stuff. So it's gonna be like not super long, but it's gonna be a little while. Again, just because I had some family health issues come up, so those things, you know, those come first. Reef tank can be put on the back burner, so. Huh. Yeah. Let me look, actually. I bet you. Oh my gosh. There you go. Found some, Lee, so. Yeah, Gordon, it's coming along. I did reseal it. I have a video on what's it called on my YouTube. I do have a video. I think it's actually my last. Was it my last one? No, my last video is showing the light, but the video before that, I just did like a little snippet of the 80 gallon of me resealing it. So, yeah. The, sorry, leg's a little itchy. Dry in here. The reseal actually went really good. It took me a while because I'm like a super perfectionist about like getting all the old silicone and stuff off, so I can't really be too upset about it. But yeah, the reseal looks really good. It only the sealing portion only took me like 10 minutes max to do the seals. But yeah, Hey Fish, what's up? TN Photography, how's it going? Yeah, check out the video for sure. Like I said, I'm still in the process of doing it. It's not like it's a big rush to get it done. I do want to get it done sooner than later, just because I need to make room in this system. As you can clearly see, the candy cane is still growing absolutely like wildfire, and I still have a bunch of digitatas, frags that I gotta either give away or put into another system. So, what's up, Archer? How's it going? Everything's good over here. Does look kind of high up, so let me bring this down again. Yes, Gordon. At the moment, I am. Basically, what had happened is I had tested, and Calc was no longer able to keep up with the consumption of alkalinity and calcium. So I added Alpha-Reef into the mix about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I'm finally at a point of dosing where everything is holding really stable. And I purchased this bottle right here for the first go of it, just so that I could get going. And then I picked up the powder, big jug of powder, so that I could lessen the price burden. Because let's be honest, that stuff is expensive. So I forgot my real name on here. Yeah, it shows mine up too, so doesn't always show main reef. It shows my actual name, which is funny. What's up, Reef Cord? Yeah, the price, so I had to buy some more Kalkwasser as well. This one is running out. I think there's only like that much left in it. But price of this, $20. Price of this, liquid, $20. This will last you a year and a half. This might last you a month and a half, depending on what your dosage is. If I didn't have Kalkwasser in this system, I guarantee I'd already be out of this. That's why I went with the powder. So hopefully, the system will start to stabilize out again and really start growing, because it was chewing away at calcium and alkalinity after its little mishap. I don't know if you can, it's kind of hard to tell from right here. Let me try and get a little closer. But that green dragon, that's what I think it is anyways. The green dragon right there in the middle. That thing took forever to take off. I mean, forever. I've had it in the system for probably a year and a half. Mind you, it was probably a 3 polyp frag. It was tiny. It basically died, and it came around, and now look at it. Now it's growing so damn fast. It's every week it looks like it's doubled. So, Reef Cord Evo is so nice, man. Plans with the Evo when the 80 set up a warm light softy tank would be neat. My plans right now is to probably use it as either a softy, like low light softy area, and it would be purely mushrooms and just softies. It would not be any LPS or anything like that. Or I'm going to use it as a bona fide frag tank, because it's already got a pump, a really good light for that. It's going to be a great little setup if I do a frag system. Problem with that is I still think I'll outgrow it relatively quickly if things keep going the way they're going in this system in the 80. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do yet with this. It is going to be tied in with the 80 one way or another. So good to see you too, George. Appreciate you stopping in. I bought the 1,600 gram container of powder and still have some after a year of dosing my 35 gallon. Yeah, The price of the powder is so much better than the price of the liquid. That's why I went that route. And with Kalkwasser taking the brunt of the calcium alkalinity, it will definitely lessen the cost of Alpha Reef, which is, for me, that's what I like. Pick Williams, water change schedule, and volume. So this system gets a water change every week, and it's 2.5 gallons. The reason why I do 2.5 gallons is it's super easy to see on the 5-gallon containers. That's about it. I basically go halfway down the container, and then I have another 2.5 gallons for the next week. So I mix 5 gallons. 5 gallons lasts me 2 weeks. I always do my water changes religiously. I never vary from my water change. Yeah, that's just the way I do it. Are you adding the calc to your ATO? Yes, that my ATO has always been Kalkwasser. When I first started it, I couldn't go full saturated Kalkwasser, so I did about half the dose of full saturation. That way I didn't absolutely nuke my tank. But it is 100% calc, and I can show you the back. So this is where the calc comes in out of the. Oops, sorry. You can see how crusted up it is in there. It's because my calc comes in through there. I clean that float valve probably, I don't know, once a month. Never had an issue with it. Sometimes you got to tweak it just to, because like when you take it apart and go to clean it, you might mess stuff up the way that the float valve is sitting. But other than that, honestly, easiest way you can add Kalkwasser to your system is a gravity-fed auto top-off. George, there is no skimmer on this system. The way I remove any organics is water changes 1. 2, I'm pretty religious about changing out my filter floss. And then I also have a DIY algae reactor that's on the back. That helps take care of, phosphates and nitrates. I still do need to help the phosphates because they tend to rise and my nitrates do not. So in this first chamber, I also have a bag of carbon and GFO mixed. So I'm able to keep my phosphates down. Nitrates really never get above 5. I feed twice a day between frozen and pellet foods, so plenty of organics going in. But yeah, it's a pretty, I say it's simple. It's not exactly as simple, but it's really just filter floss, an algae reactor, which you could have done a fuge in the center chamber on these. I've seen people do that. And then water changes. Got a hair stuck in my mouth. Ugh. I dose C-Chem 2-part every day, 2 times a day. However, once the coral gets a bit larger, I'll probably switch to something like kelp. The tank is actually outside in the patio. That's actually a great place because it's probably got great oxygen out there, so I'm sure your pH is already high, so you probably don't need kelp for the pH. But yeah, that's cool. For me, kelp was something I've always used. I've always used Kalkwasser. It's old school and it works, so that's something I've always done. So that was my first step. Not to mention it's cheap as all hell. So to be able to pick up where the Kalkwasser can't do it is why I went with the 1-part Alpha Reef, because it has the magnesium and trace elements in it, so for me, it's going to help out and get that thing going, stabilize where it needs to be. When I did do my test, I did a full test back in December, and I haven't really done one since. I've just been watching calcium and alkalinity since then. But I'm trying to think where my calcium was. Calcium was like 380, which is not bad. Alkalinity was 6.8, and then everything else was relatively in check. But yeah, that's when I noticed, well, the Kalkwasser can't keep up with the system anymore. And to be fair, I'd say it's probably half stony corals at least in there now. So there's a lot of stony corals, you know, taking care of a lot of alkalinity and calcium. Be right back. I need to go get some floss, I think. Oh yeah, mangrove display. You should put the mangrove display outside. That would be cool. Yeah, that's the plan. That'd be so cool though. Have a mangrove garden or whatever out in on your patio. That'd be wicked cool. Like here in Maine, obviously that's not gonna happen. I don't have a patio, but keeping a tank, you know, outside on your patio is never gonna be a good thing here in Maine. Pick Williams, no, never used Phyto. I've never dosed Phyto. I've never used it. I've never put pods in here. I've never dosed pods. I've never done anything like that. Literally, I started the tank up. The only thing it gets dosed is Alpha-Reef and Kalkwasser. I do not use amino acids anymore. I purely just feed my fish, and probably once a month I will feed my LPS, but that's about it. So it's not super deep. I don't know if you can tell. That's my finger. It's tiny. It's only maybe an inch and a half, and it looks deeper because, well, the dotty back just literally takes all the sand out from underneath the rocks and then pushes it out here. That being said, I vacuum. Let's just say once a month. I decide. It's not even close to once a month, but I do try to get down and vacuum around every once in a while, and I usually break it up into quarters. Like if I'm going to decide, okay, this month I'm going to do the sand, I'll do like this portion on one water change, and then this portion, and then the next portion, and then the next portion, so that I don't like fully disturb it too much. But I do it every once in a while, and it's pretty nasty when I do it, but hair is bugging me. How you guys been anyway, though? How's everybody been on YouTube? I need to get my subs up so that I can get more people in here. It's always nice to be able to have a bunch of people in to talk and chat with when you're having a live. The other thing is like, what time do most people, you think? I think probably late for me because I'm on the East Coast. Probably a little later. It's gonna kill my UK viewers and stuff, but yeah. Beef Cord, how many subs do you have on? You should start posting videos. Just start posting, brother. I didn't even clean my lens. I can tell it's kind of dirty. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah, looks at restore hours for reference. Most of us get off of work around noon, and then we'll get our tanks for hours. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I might... Okay, I'm not really sure why this thing went into sleep mode, but... Like, I did one the other night, and it was kind of later on TikTok, and I got a bunch of people that came in. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Is it super not focused? I don't know. It's hard to see. Like, it looks great on my phone, but on the screen it looks bad. But I think I'm going to start getting coral tomorrow. I'm going to go home and test my water and do a small water change. Hopefully all will be good. My first time on YouTube watching anyone. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. If I was you and you're still in the like the beginning phases, I wouldn't waste your time with a water change, especially if your water levels are still settling down. I would worry more about just letting the tank cycle instead of doing a water change. I'm not really sure where the whole doing water changes during a cycle thing came about, but me personally, just let that tank cycle, and then when you start getting some nitrates and phosphates popping up where they're like holding steady, then you can start doing your water changes. But at first, you're really just wanting to get that to stabilize. I would not try to mess with it too much. That's just my opinion. But I've been posting for years. This is my 9th year keeping reefs, getting up there. Yeah, that is. I've kept octopus, seahorses, sea moths, you name it, cold water. Wouldn't call myself an expert by any means, though. I feel ya. Been doing it since 2007. I am not an expert. Do I know a thing or two? Yes, but I am definitely not an expert. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get it. It looks super foggy. Or hazy, I should say. On my end. So, you guys tell me if the quality looks good. If not, I'll try to change it, but... George, I do the same thing every time I start a tank. I'm very old school in the way I do it. I do use some newer school techniques, but I've always used the raw shrimp method of just throwing in a raw piece of shrimp, giving it like 2 weeks to decay, and put some ammonia into the system, and then I dose nitrifying bacteria to that system. That's about the newest new school way I do it. In this system, I used Fluval concentrated biological booster, and within a month, tank was ready to go. Absolutely no problems, and I've always done it like that. It's just a way I was taught, so that's how I do it. I accidentally turned everything off to feed the fish and killed them. Was fouler after that. That's actually how I got into corals. My first tank, and that is. Yeah, I mean, I've made the mistakes. You know, I've crashed 2 systems. I've killed fish. I've killed coral. I've done all that stuff. So now I just try to keep it, you know, super simple. I do what works, what I know works for me. You know, it's stuff that I've tried and I've tested, so I tend to stick to what I know. If I do, you know, usually if I try something different, it's because of maybe there was like an issue, or Like in this case, I've never used Alpha Reef because I've always had my water changes in Kalkwasser be able to take the ability of supplying the reef. But like I never had to use Alpha Reef before. Now I'm using it, but like 2-part. I used 2-part back in the day. I just really wasn't a fan of it. But everybody has their own way of doing things. So especially when it comes to reefing, like there's so many different ways to be able to do stuff. So. Yep, 100%. And unfortunately, a lot of reefing nowadays is pushed as like you need this tech to do it. And in reality, you don't need that crazy expensive tech to do any of it. Just basic, maintenance on your system and paying attention to it is a big thing that helps a lot of reefers. All right. Hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm going to be back and forth between working out and the stream. I have, as many of you may know or may not know, my reef is in my quote-unquote office spare bedroom. So that is also where I have my few weights and everything. So like I said, I'm here in the room. I just might not be at the screen at that moment. Turn up the music a little bit. I still wish that you could just I get why, because they record like all this stuff, the lives get recorded and sent to your YouTube, but at the same time, like, it makes it so you can't even like play music and listen to it. So okay. What's your opinions on Kessels? I got this black box I got from Benny at Supreme Reefs when I worked there. However, 2 of them, 3 fans don't work, and I'm afraid it will start a fire. Personally, I love Kessels. I had one on a 40 breeder. The problem for me at the time was, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked into Kessels in a while, but Kessels did not come with the controller, and they did not come with a mount. Basically, you bought the light, and that's what you got. Everything else was extra, and the mounts were usually about half the price of the light back then. That being said, Kessels, they have crazy good coloration on corals. Like, your corals will look amazing with Kessels. They have a good shimmer to them. It really changes like the look of the reef. They're small, they're compact, and they are very, very well built. Like, they do not even remotely look like a hobby grade light. They look super professional. But yeah, I love them. Just the price. I don't love the price of Kessels. Yeah, they give a very halide look, and they also give very halide coloration. Like, if you look at Kessel, say if you had, actually there's a guy online, if you watch Fish of Hex on YouTube, he literally has 2 lowboy 50s next to each other. He has, he had Radions, and then he changed them out to Night Cruise, and then he has an AP7 Kessel, or 700, and he showed 2 corals, the exact same coral, just grown in 2 different under two different lights. Same systems, they're all tied together. So the water is all the same. However, the lights were the difference. And you look at that Kessel one versus the Night Crew or the Radeon version, and the coloration is just so much more. Growth wise, they are a little less on growth, but that could be something completely different that's causing that. It could be, you know, a lower flow area that he has it in. Who knows? But looking at color wise, yeah, look at Fisher Hex. He has two low boys to look at if you want to see some difference in coloration. It's pretty cool. Yes, very expensive. Do you usually spend a lot of time just watching the reef with music on in the background? What do you enjoy most about it? Honestly, I don't even watch the reef with music. I just do it for the lives so that they're not super boring. Because I can personally sit here for 2 hours a day and look at this little 1 foot by 10-inch box of glass. I've been addicted to reefing since when I first seen it, way back in the day. So I can literally sit here and enjoy all of it. I enjoy looking at this thing 3 hours after the lights go off at night. You know, exploring the darkness of the water, seeing all the pods, seeing maybe new critters that I didn't even know were in there. So, you know, for me, I never stop enjoying this. I've always loved reefing, and the first store I ever went to for like a reef store per se was right here in Auburn, Maine, and because of zoning laws, they weren't able to actually have a pet store there. They needed to have a front store that sold like general goods. So this saltwater hobbyist store you could go to, and it was a literal convenience store in the front half and then a saltwater aquarium store in the back half, to be able to get around zoning laws. And it was the most wild stuff I had ever seen. You walk in and he had a 125 6-foot with like a 4-inch sand bed, metal halides on it, and he had a single toadstool leather coral that was the size of this display tank, if not bigger. And then he had like 3 other tanks as well. So for me, I love it all. I love everybody's build. There's no one way to cut it. Yeah, I don't know. I'll go look at my buddy's tank, and I could literally look at my buddy's tank for 6 hours, you know? It's just, I love it all. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Reef Cord. There's no quarantine for me. I don't quarantine my coral. I don't quarantine my fish. I don't quarantine any of the invertebrates. I have a different relationship than most people have with Aptasia. I don't mind them as long as they're not getting out of control. Obviously, if they're getting out of control, that's a different story, but... Sorry, guys. Again, I'm just doing a workout in the room with you. But, like, I even enjoy Mahano Nems, like, I think they look super cool. The worms, the spaghetti worms, the bristles, like, it's part of the hobby. You know, you're not going to go in the ocean and not find some of these things. So if you're trying to replicate the ocean and also have a super sterilized system with no pests in it, I don't know. I don't mind, you know, I don't mind looking around and seeing, it's hard to see right here, but there's little patches of bubble algae that have slowly been getting taken care of because of my addition of the emerald crab, you know. Patches of ulva or hair algae. I don't mind that stuff. I love seeing a reef tank that looks like you took it out of the ocean and put it into a glass box. Like, I don't understand people who have like these ultra sanitized tanks, and then you look at it and all the rocks just kind of, it's hard to explain, but that's just me. That's how I've always been. Especially with back in the day, you could go to a store and you could buy live rock that was picked up out of the ocean, and then when you get it home, you get to see all these cool little hitchhikers, sponges, and all that. So that's just me, but for me, it's the movement of the coral and the colors, also the little homes, each critter. Oh yeah, 100%, George, 100%. Archer, can't wait to have this much coral. I just chill and look at my fish for the most part. Yeah, once you get coral and you get a nice established coral and it starts growing, it changes everything. My goby is a piece of shit though. He goes out in the morning and does a lookout once in the morning, then hides the rest of the day while the pistol shrimp does all the work. Well, that sounds about like the relationship they have. They're working together, so. I added some macroalgae in that freezing and live frog from the Gulf that I collected. Yeah, see, like, you got the right idea. Back in the day, like I said, you could buy a piece of live rock. It looks like it has nothing on it. 2 weeks after you get home, could be a huge growth, you know. Obviously there came bad things with that, but, you know, gorilla crabs and Mahanos, Aptasia, all that. But again, everything, as long as it's taken care of and it's not overrunning, I have no problem with Aptasia. Sure, do I try to, if it gets to a spot and I can get a syringe in there to give it some kelp paste to kill it, I'll do that. But for the most part, I let the system do its thing. Even running each other over when it comes to corals, I have, you can't see it, but over here, that little piece right there, that black piece, came off of this blasto colony. It was another blasto, not the same one, and it just got smothered and ran over, so I had to pull it out and try to save it. Is it going to save it? Probably not, but that's what happens. That's what happens in the real ocean, you know? It's a dog-eat-dog world. They're fighting for space, and they will get their space one way or another. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell right here, but this green slimer, that's a Rainbow Monty. I just fucking glued it right on top of it. But yeah, like the old great Jake Adams he took like stags and stuff, and he would literally cut them off, re-glue them to a dead piece of coral or a dead piece of stag, and it would literally grow, you know, right over it. It was pretty neat. Yeah, you got to make sure that alkalinity is relatively stable for acros. I think that's what happened when I had my little crash. I think my elk just got too low, and they had you know, an RTN issue. My Slimer, within 10 hours of the light, well, let's just say 13 hours, 14 hours from when I seen it, from the last time I seen it, was completely shredded, everything. So I love Jake, met him, used to, yeah, Jake was very knowledgeable. I'll be honest, I never even knew who he was when he was alive. It wasn't until, you know, after he had passed away that I started looking at all of his old videos. But he was very knowledgeable. He kind of went about reefing in a way that I did, very simple. Don't try to overthink it. He didn't even dip his corals. He would literally get his corals, and when they were in, he would take those corals and put them right on, what's it called, in his holding tanks. But Antonio, yes, I did go live on TikTok, but as you know, TikTok is now banned, so you can't go live on TikTok. So I am on my YouTube channel, which I still go live on, not nearly as much as I did on TikTok. But I gotta grow this community just as much as I did the one on TikTok. So hopefully, if you were a follower on TikTok, do you miss TikTok? I just miss the live version of TikTok, because live TikTok is a million times better than YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. Like, TikTok figured it out when it came to doing lives. Yes. Excuse me. Oh, appreciate you for coming over there, Antonio. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's awesome. I was wondering if I was going to have any TikTok people. So, I appreciate that. I really do. But yeah, like I said, TikTok's live function a million times better than YouTube or Instagram. Like, being able to have people join you, like, within the second of them coming in, if they want to, if you want to, the gifts, the likes, even the quality, like, the quality looked better on TikTok than it did on YouTube. Huh. That's interesting. I like that idea of, like, a lot of freshwater hobbyists do that with their sponges and stuff. They literally just, like, squeeze it back in. Yeah, that's a I mean, I don't squeeze it, but when I take my filter floss out, I usually, like, get the excess water out of it, so the water's not dirty or anything like that. But that's actually a bit of a decent idea, honestly. Might have to look into that maybe down the road. That is a brilliant idea. Don't play with this thing. This thing's poke your eye out. Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Um, my biggest thing is if it's big enough to be caught up by filter floss, that means it's perfect size for most of these polyps, and they are filter feeders. So um, that's another reason why the way I do, I try not to over filter the water. So, like I said, I know a lot of people that have, oversized skimmers and um, roller mats, and then UV, and they got all the, the big bells and whistles and stuff, but to me, they're over filtering the water. That's just my opinion, but I use ghost shrimp as a cardiac equivalent as well. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, this system I've never dosed. I never do any of that. I feed relatively heavily so they, the fish poop a lot. There's a lot of particles being flown around. I try not to go too crazy on over filtering, particles out, but yeah. But yeah, if you ever watch Danny's Aquariums, he's on YouTube as well. He has systems with zero filtration. Just flow and heat. That's it. Appreciate the likes, guys. Thank you. I want to get some orbit cardinal fish as well for this tank that are typically found in lagoonal etch reef environments, which is what I'm replicating, and this is live seagrass, which is growing in here as well. That's cool, dude. I gotta follow you. Are you on? Let's see. Why isn't this doing that? Give me that guy. Can I go? Where is it? Where channel? I'll be watching your videos after. That's for sure. It's a neat idea. I like it. You just got a follower, or I should say, a subscriber. Different platform here, Mike. Yes, Reef Court. I'm on Instagram as well. I don't post on Instagram nearly as much as I should. That's another place I really need to grow, is my Instagram. I think I only have like maybe 150, 200 followers on Instagram. So, but yeah, you can find me there. Obviously, YouTube, Facebook. I won't mention the other one because it's gone. So. Ooh. Appreciate it. Thank you, Reef Cord. Appreciate it. Thank you. Hoping I can break 600. It's only got 3 away, but hopefully I can break 600 subbers this week. I'd really like to post another video here this week. Hopefully get this up. 1,000 subs is 100 subs is insane to me. The fact that 100 people want to know what's going on with a little tiny Fluval Evo, but yeah. Jeez Louise. Oh, you'll definitely get here. Yeah, it's funny because all my old reefs were, I'll say they were mediocre at best. Never really filled out before I got to a point where I either messed something up or finances came in the way, and yeah. That's crazy. It's outgrowing Caulerpa. That's a big step. Anything that outgrows Caulerpa. Excuse me. My gosh. Excuse me. unless you use chest coats. I guess I don't understand, but I agree. Minimum a year before things are even remotely close to truly stable and mature. But yeah, I agree. People just don't wait out the process long enough to be able to enjoy the beauty of it. Whew. Cheat codes. I thought that's what you were trying to say, but everyday aquarist. I'll have to look into that as well. I watch a little bit of reefing content, but not too many, because most of the time everybody's doing the same thing, not many people are doing it different and innovative ways of going about things. So that's why I really like Danny's Aquariums. That's a great channel. Very low filtration to none. Was able to keep, SPS, LPS, softies. But yeah, it's many different ways to be able to run these tanks, which is really cool. But a lot of people get thrown into, doing the same thing. But yeah, he does macroalgae tanks. Yeah, he does both. He just built a long display with in and out rock. It's beautiful. You gotta look it up. Look at if you haven't seen his tanks in a while. He got rid of his 3 individual systems that he had, and he made one huge one. Yeah, Julian, he's got some interesting. If you ever watched any people who's done any videos on his place, he's got some interesting tanks for sure. Another cool thing about him is he was a hobbyist that turned into a businessman from following his passion. So that's 2 little fishies Julian sprung. Okay. Yeah, I've never met him myself, but it'd be nice to meet him. A couple of the popular guys in the hobby. Um, it's odd, but one that does things a bit different than a lot of other people, and I feel like he should have his own channel besides the company channel, is Josh from Worldwide Corals. And I don't want to say he does so much different because it's really not that crazy, but he does, like, he had an 80-gallon all-in-one system and he ran no skimmer in it. Water changes and calc washer was what he ran with an SPS system for a while. It grew for a while, but obviously they don't do super long-term systems, especially when it comes to letting them mature and grow out, because they're constantly fragging them for the business. But I mean, when I first started, you could never mention bare bottom systems. You couldn't. There was really people talking about LEDs. Like, nope, they weren't doing that. If you wanted to grow out, you needed to have halides or T5s. You needed that deep sand bed. You needed a protein skimmer. Like this, the way the whole hobby is gone now is there. Like I said, there's so many different ways to do it, but people all get just bunched into one category, and they all do it very similar, the same way. Filter roller, skimmer. You're either running 2 or 3 part for dosing. Radions. You need to have radions. You need to have Ecotech. You don't need any of that to even remotely have a successful reef. It's just kind of become the industry norm. So a lot of people get stuck into doing it that way. Yeah, it's true, Archer. Unfortunately, it's the way this hobbies industry has been pushed for. I mean, even for a long time, even back when T5s and metal halides, came out, like, people always said, you have to have halides and you have to have T5s because LEDs can't grow coral. Long term comes out, LEDs can grow coral, and maintenance wise, they're cheaper over the long run. However, you don't need just the 2 big companies to be the only ones that you can buy from. Because in the grand scheme of things, yes, light matters, but light nowadays is easily obtainable for a less cost than what it's ever been, except nobody pushes that. So let me get some of that Setosa. If you're close to New England, it's yours. That piece right there isn't even attached. I can pull it right out. You could take that whole piece. It's as big as pretty much the size of my hand. Me and Inlane Reef brainstorm a lot of niche ideas. I bet, like, you have some niche ideas already, so. And again, sorry guys if I'm breathing. You hear me breathing or making some noises in the background. I am literally working out right in the room, so. But yeah, that Setosa is completely detached. I had a local hobbyist come over and he wanted a piece off it. I told him it would have to be broken. He said, yeah, no problem. So I grabbed it and I thought I was cutting off a small piece, and it cut off probably 3/4 of the coral right off the base, which is no problem. So I broke that one big piece in half and gave him half, and that's the other half that I haven't been able to get rid of. Nobody wants to get rid of it. Nobody wants it. So as you can see, it's a decent sized chunk. And it's grafted, UV grafted. Has a nice little green strip of UV going through it, so it's pretty neat. I don't know if this is a calm before the storm or what, but yeah, we get a blue skies out there. It's supposed to be snowing today. Swing by, Jet. It's right here. Make the road trip. It's yours for free if you make the road trip. I'll also give you, if you make the road trip and you actually come, you get everything on the frag rack. I think 100% reef cord. Yeah, the biological filtration. 100%. There is a happy medium when it comes to saltwater aquariums, and yeah, I am in Maine, reef cord. Yes, I am. I'm so jealous about that because the cold water livestock you guys have is crazy. I had to pay $300 for shipping just for one order of cold water stuff. Yeah, we have some pretty cool cold water. All right, I'll go ahead. Like, that's one thing I want to do. I'd love to do a native cold water system down the road. Because our tide pools are very interesting here in Maine. Very rocky, but very cool to check out. So. But like even our cold water fish species up here, like trout, I'd love to do a trout system. However, I think when it comes to doing anything with trout, I'm just going to use my spring-fed stream in my backyard and maybe put a few dams up to have a couple of deeper holes to keep trout in. I say that now because it already has native brook trout in it. You put a trap in there and you can easily catch 6 to 8 native brook trout right in 10 feet behind my house. So very neat. I would love to do something with that. Like I said, maybe put a couple of dams so that there's like 3 long, deeper holes for trout to hang out in. But I've been a fish guy my whole life. I started off with freshwater systems. I had Oscars and cichlids and you name it in the freshwater hobby. And then, like I said, the first time I seen a saltwater, it was over. I never looked back. I think you got a great vision on that tank there, Reef Court. I think you got the idea of what you want to do. Now you just gotta make it happen. I think it will look really good, especially once it all grows out and stabilizes, comes super mature. Like simplicity, you know. You want to mimic the environment, but you have, you know, thousands of dollars worth of technology to try and mimic what is probably already there, especially when it comes to particle filtration and nutrients. I think like what you're getting at is a lot of systems find their happy medium and they can run themselves for the most part. And I wholeheartedly believe that, mostly because you look at if you took all the nutrients of everybody's system, right? Sure, there's going to be some that are in this ballpark, you know, the numbers that they give you, you know, around 400 calcium, 7 to 11 ALK, back and forth. We go over the numbers all day long. But there's people who have high nitrates and high phosphates that are able to keep Acropora colored up and looking fantastic. I think it's more than anything, it's about stability. It's not really about those numbers. I seen a guy on Reef to Reef, 3 weeks ago, that's never dosed his system once. He has huge acro colonies. He's never dosed. He just does his water change every week. That's it. Never threw anything in there. That is crazy. Like, that's unheard of, especially in the hobby. So yeah, for me, it's simple works. Sure, the overpriced systems work as well, but there's something different about achieving the exact same growth as some of these high-end, you know, crazy systems, and you just don't have all that gear. Something about it that just feels good. Upgrade the light, yeah. Well, I can't preach about these guys enough. If you're looking at upgrading a light and you don't want to spend an assload of money, look into Night Cruise. I've never I've never been so impressed by a light that's at this price range. Dead serious. Even the Gen 2s are in a good price range for what you're like. You're getting full controllability of the LEDs, heavier duty mounting, and heavier duty cording. Plus, you get different lenses this time. They're like 120-degree angle lenses, so you get much more spread out footprint. Not as many hot spots. But like, this is their Gen 1. This is their first one they ever came out with, and like I said, I can't preach about it enough. They gave me a Night Crew Gen 2, and I can't wait to try it out on that 80-gallon, because I can't wait to see what it does for growth after using this Gen 1 for coming up on 2 years now. So yeah, just if you're looking for an upgradable light, look at the Night Crews. They're affordable, great growth, and the new ones you can really fine tune however you want color wise for your system. I think you should reef cord. Get another video out there. It's been 6 months. That's what it said anyway. Whew. Well, you better get a video of it. It's a rare occasion. Whew. Alright guys, I'm gonna go jump in the shower. I'm gonna write it in the chat so that if anybody jumps in, I'll be back, but enjoy the fish. Like I said, sit tight, enjoy the aquarium. I'll be back. Go on, reef cord, make it. I think you should. What the heck is going on here? I actually might jump off. I think my brother is hanging out today, so I might actually get a chance to chat with him. But I want to say thank you guys to stopping in. I'll definitely be on YouTube Live a lot more than I have been. But hopefully they either make some changes with the whole TikTok policy or they make some changes to some of these other lives for better quality and better ability to show love to the host. But that being said, I appreciate you guys for stopping in, whoever's still here. And I will see you guys in the next live. And keep on reefing.